Well, thank you for coming. I'm more than happy, I can answer any questions you have about the political science program. Sydney is a student now, and she's done a lot. She could talk about some of her experiences, internships, and that sort of thing, and what she thinks about, or her thoughts on classes and that sort of thing. But just to give you a brief introduction, so I am so there are four political science professors. I teach what would be called the public law classes. So I teach anything dealing with law, constitutional law, law and society, criminal law. And then there's a guy named Dr. Toll. He teaches essentially anything related to American government. And then we have two individuals who do the rest of the world. So Dr. Miller does comparative politics. So he's an expert on Central America, specifically Costa Rica. And then we have the fourth individual, Dr. Myron, who's from Romania. She's more of international relations, Eastern Europe, Western and Eastern Europe, and pretty much anything related to international relations. So that's what we do. There's a set of classes that every student is required to take in the political science curriculum. But then from there, they can, if they're more interested in the law, they can take their electives with me. If you're more interested in comparative politics and international relations, they can take it with Dr. Miller and Dr. Myron. We have a pretty robust pre-law program, so a lot of our students do go on to law school. I don't know whether you have any interest in law school, but so I am the pre-law advisor, so I work with students who want to go to law school.
Okay.
Then the last thing I'll say before I can take questions, and Sydney can take questions as well, but one of the things that we have cultivated over the last couple of years is our internships. So we are right down the street from the Luzerne County government seat, this beautiful building. And so that's where the Court of Common Pleas judges are. So some of our students have interned for a Court of Common Pleas judge. A lot of our students do internships. I would think that in this election year, we'll see what the coronavirus does, but usually in election years, a lot of our students will intern with political campaigns as well. So that's pretty much what we're all about. It's not, it's not an exhaustive list of everything we do, but I just wanted to give you a snapshot of what the department is like.
Okay. I think that's really awesome. I saw you guys also have a 3+3 program, right?
We do. So we have a 3+3 with Penn State. That's the one at the main campus in University Park. So when you get to campus, we can have a more robust discussion about the particulars, but the document needs to be signed. But we also have I don't know if Sydney knows this, but I don't know if I told you, Sydney, but we actually have a 3+3 with Drexel Law School as well. Mm-hmm. So that will be starting this year. Just the contract needs to be signed.
Okay.
But yeah, so what it does, that 3+3, I'm not sure how familiar you are with it, but it basically cuts out a year of undergrad. So your first year of law school, those credits come back. So they count for, of course, your law school degree, but they also count towards your undergraduate credits. After your first year of law school, you would come back if you wanted to and walk at the Wilkes graduation.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know if it was a separate graduation, if you just graduated earlier.
So cool. You don't come back after. Yeah, you don't graduate earlier. You graduate, so that first year of law school, those credits apply to law school, but they also apply to Wilkes.
Oh, so it's kind of like still having your fourth year, but instead you get a jump start on your law schooling.
Correct. So what it does is it cuts out a year of Wilkes. I guess there are many benefits to that. I think the primary benefit, at least parents would argue the primary benefit, is financial.
Yeah.
So rather than 7 years of higher education costs, you would only have 6.
Yeah, that year definitely makes a difference.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so Penn State does put some conditions on it in terms of, to be honest, we just changed the contract language, and so they relaxed the standards. But you know, you need to have. They used to. I forget. I think they changed this part, but you needed to have a certain GPA. You need to have a certain LSAT score. I think they've relaxed both of those, but yeah, as long as you say, I want to go into the 3+3 program, we just kind of keep track of you to make sure that credit-wise, you're on track to do it. So let me ask you this. Do you have any college credits to your name now?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so that
I
would
don't have
be,
any.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I wasn't saying anything.
Okay. So, I mean, being a political science major, the 3+3 seems to work very well. It's something that can be done. It's just a matter of scheduling and making sure that everything falls in line. I mean, if it would work better if you could take some summer courses or intersession courses to kind of get ahead of the game so that it's much easier to count the credits, and so that your 4th year will be like a first year of law school, 4th year of Wilkes will be like a clean, much cleaner sort of process.
Okay. So if I were to take summer classes, what would I just head start on like my gen eds to get those out the way, or do I not take those?
That's what most people do, right, Sydney?
Yeah, that's what I would say. Your gen eds are the easiest to transfer over, especially. And I know I took a couple intersessions just to get ahead, and they were like music and history, like easy classes that you can do online for intersession or online over the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of students, I think it's safe to say that I don't know the percentage, but it's certainly a lot, take summer courses here and there, or they will take an intersession course. So yeah, that's normally what people do. And like what Sydney said, the vast majority of students will take what are called the general education courses. The only thing we ask is that before you take the course, to make sure that it will transfer in, we just ask that you get permission before you take the course so that you know for certain that this class will transfer as History 101. I say that because that's a course that often has some difficulty. But you know, Communication 101 or Sociology 101 or something like that, just to make sure that the course you're taking is not a waste, that it's actually, that it will be transferred in as that, you know, gen ed course.
Okay. I had another question. Okay. So would you suggest the 3+3 program? Like, what are the other benefits besides like saving financially?
So I would argue that it depends on the student. So, you know, if the student is emotionally and socially mature enough, I think it's something that could be valuable. For some students, and to be honest with you, Catherine, this is something maybe you wouldn't know the first year, but so the way that this program works, you would be starting law school a year younger than everyone else. So law school is very different than undergrad. And so, you know, we have had students in this program, and the most recent student, I've asked how the student is doing, and he's been doing very well, and he's succeeding, and he's excelling at Penn State. But I would argue it's not for everyone. I think that each student would need to decide for him or herself whether they are ready to go to law school in their 4th year. So, you know, without sort of having that conversation with you. It's difficult to say, but to plan. So what I would say is, if this is something that interests you and something that you want to work toward, there's nothing wrong with your first year making sure you're on track to do it if in year 3 you still want to do it. So I think it's important to say to me that, hey, I'm envisioning doing this 3+3. It's my goal, and then I could work with you to make sure that you stay on track for that goal. And then you could revisit it. You could say in year 2 or even year 3, you know what, I don't think I'm ready for it. So it is easier to do if the student comes in with college credits already. It would be easier to kind of get to that point after year 3, where you only need 15 more credits, let's say, or 18 more credits. So I mean, this language won't make sense to you at this point. So Sydney will know what I mean, but so what this means is that in your 3rd year at Wilkes, you would need to do your capstone project. So traditionally, that's you're doing your capstone project in your last semester, which would be your 4th year. So,
I would say it is definitely like something that you would have to prepare for. And in addition to doing your capstone early, you would be taking your LSAT earlier, right? So I'm 21 right now, and I'm going to be a senior next year, and I'm currently studying for my LSAT. And honestly, like when I go to law schools to visit or whatever, it's definitely weird because I still feel young. In a sense, like a lot of people take a gap year before law school, or they like go back to it later in life. And so I think just make sure you're like conscious of that if you're considering it.
Okay.
That's my insight.
Yeah. And I mean,
So
Penn State Law has been a very wonderful partner in this. And they have been very willing to talk with students about this, to see, to gauge whether the student is ready. But Penn State has been great. So Sydney, were you on the Penn State trip last year?
No.
You were not? Okay, I forgot. So, we normally, I was on sabbatical in the fall, so we didn't get to do a law school trip this year, but we normally take a law school trip every fall. And because of this relationship, I've gone to Penn State Law School more than other law schools in the last couple of years, but they've been wonderful in terms of, talking with students about the program and, working with me to make sure the students are ready for the program. So we haven't had a lot, and we're only in like I guess we're starting our 4th year this year. So we have a student, pretty much there's like one student a year. And then we are starting, for students who would rather go to Drexel, we're starting, I believe, again, the paperwork just needs to be signed, but that program should start this fall if students, want to be and would rather go to Drexel than Penn State. So Drexel is very different than Penn State geographically. There's one big way that they're different, but.
Okay. I was going to ask Sydney. So you said the 3+3 program with Penn State started about 4 years ago, right? So Sydney, you went through the 3+3, or you went 4-year? And
no, I am a junior right now, and I'm going to be a senior next year. So I did not do that, but I honestly didn't even really consider it as an option as I changed my major, and I wouldn't have had time to do it. But I would say, like, if you're looking for like the financial benefit is there, I personally can't imagine not spending 4 years at Wilkes because my time is already almost up and I don't want to leave. But
yeah, that was another.
Yeah, I would definitely consider it.
All right. Alrighty. That's something to think about. I was thinking about whether I was ready for, like, if I wanted to do it, how it would really work, because you did say having college credits already would have been helpful, but I don't have any to my name. So it's something that I'm considering. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say right away that I'm going into it, but I do want to consider it because I feel like it would be best to be able to just get it in and out the way.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something we should have a conversation about. So, hopefully we can have that conversation in August. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sooner rather
hopefully
than
we'll
later.
be on campus.
Who knows?
The goal is to be on campus, hopefully. They
Me
already
too.
took graduation from me. They already took my high school graduation. Please give me my first semester of college.
Yeah. So, I mean, your senior year has been totally upended, right?
Yeah, right now there's no prom, no graduation, no senior trip. So 12 years and I don't even get the best 3 months, but it's whatever.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry about that. I feel horrible for high school seniors. I feel horrible for the Wilkes seniors. So, I mean, Sydney is lucky
Yeah,
that she's
I
not caught in this, but
just before my senior year, thank God.
Yeah, my big sis is graduating. Was supposed to graduate in May, but they're moving it online, which obviously isn't the same. So she's kind of upset as well. So it's just a lot of people that's being affected. Not even just like with academics. There's like people that are like big life events that they can't experience in its full form because of the pandemic. But everything
Yeah.
happens for a reason.
have you been able to get back to your school to pick up your stuff or not yet?
Thankfully they did that before it got even worse. So like we closed on March 15th. So like I was able to go back to the school like March 17th, like that Saturday after, and they kind of like had the doors open. So like even like assignments. So I picked up like books for English, and then I picked up all my stuff from like my locker and stuff. And after that, they locked the school down completely. So nobody's like allowed to be on the premises or like near the field or anything like that.
Okay. So is there anything else that we could help you with? And
I don't have any further questions, I don't think. But I would be able to contact you, right? Email?
yes. So let me type in. So my email address, do you see it? I put it in the chat.
I'm about to check it. I don't see any.
I don't see it either.
Did you hit send?
Oh, hold on a second. Never mind. For some reason, it was set to notifying people in the weight room, and there is no one in the weight room. So hold on. There you go.
Right, there's mine too.
I was gonna ask yours. Thanks, Sydney.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, like generally too about campus, about like first year transition into college or anything, like feel free to ask me any of that. In addition to, I'll just say this, I did an internship last semester now with a judge at the Luzerne County Courthouse, and that was a great experience. So if you have any questions about that, like clubs on campus, I went on the Costa Rica trip with Dr. Miller this spring, just to name a few things. So
that's pretty fun. Alrighty, that sounds really good. I'm very appreciative. I didn't even think I was gonna be the only one in here, so it's kind of like a one-on-one session. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Everybody else is like,
it's cool. I was expecting a couple more people, so this is kind of cool.
yeah. I mean, it kind of worked out for me. I can't really say the same for you, but
no, hey, that's why we're here. I would have done it with 100 people or one. It doesn't matter. So, and I always bring when we do these in person, I always ask a current student to come with me because the older I get, the less I know about what's going on campus in terms of student life. So I think it's important for accepted students, prospective students, whoever it might be, to talk to a current student to kind of ask them questions. So
Okay, yeah. Okay, no, I don't have a question.
okay, well, so you see our emails there?
Yeah, I have it. I have them written down. I have a whole form.
Great. So yeah, I mean, if you have any questions after we leave here, feel free to shoot me an email or shoot Sydney an email or send us both an email. It doesn't matter. And then we can get you the answer, or we can point you to the right person who would have the answer.
Okie dokie.
Does it sound good?
Yep. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Catherine.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. You too.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You as well.
All right, bye-bye.